Yes, I love the fact that we are on this beautiful personal growth journey together. I am not leaving you behind, and we are moving hand in hand to make sure that you are the best version of yourself. I am Bahati Hilda Sabiti, and your coach on this journey, or a guide on the side. I want you to look at it as that guide on the side. I'm not ahead of you, I'm not behind you, I am on your side to hold your hand to make sure that we get to the destination that we want to get to. And while I was just thinking about what we're going to share today, I was reflecting on the sad state of affairs that is happening all over the globe. The economy is crashing, you know, the wars and everything. And I was just thinking about the people that are going to make it. It's going to take a lot more creativity. It's going to take a lot more time, a lot longer than we thought. It's going to take a lot more confidence. It's going to take a lot more knowledge, but it's going to take a lot more intentionality and being able to act on the goals that we have set for ourselves. So I want us to come on that journey. But while we come on that journey, there's so many harsh realities that we face in life. And then we grow because of these harsh realities. But again, I want to highlight them and give you reminders that yes, they are harsh, but again, it's the reason as to why we grow. They are inevitable. We are going to meet them, and we are going to have to find a way through them, and the only way is through them. The only way is not dodging them. The only way is sit the exam, pass. You don't even have the luxury to fail. So today we're talking about the harsh realities that help us grow, and together we go on this journey. And while we talk about the harsh realities, you'll say, but you talk a lot about suffering. Yes, there is a lot of suffering. But again, the beautiful hope that we bring is that there's a lot of overcoming. So while we have so many people that are suffering, again, we have so many testimonies of people that have overcome. And that testimony for me is a testament of hope that, by the way, it's very possible that from wherever you come from, whatever background that you come from, whatever financial status you are in right now, you can actually cross the bridge and get to the other side of the overcomers. And that's going to take you knowing these harsh realities and being able to meet them and look them in the eye. For example, when you talk about the harsh realities, the number one that I can really think about is that the first step forward for everything in life is always the hardest. Now, once you remember that, when you step into the harder things or the hardest things or the hardest of seasons, you're not going to just give up. You're not going to quit. You're not going to fold your hands. You're not going to freeze and be paralyzed, because some of the things that come, they come with a lot of intensity. Some of the pain, some of the suffering, some of the obstacles, some of the issues that come or befall us, they come with a lot of intensity. And the only way out some people find so easy is running away from their problems, running away from their suffering. But again, if we say that the first step forward into anything could be creating income streams, okay? Could be even not in creating income streams, but because by the time you think about income streams, hear me well, you already have maybe the number one or the major or the main or already a foundation. So even the foundation itself, there are people that have looked at me and told me that, you know what, I don't know where to start. And you can really see it's so hard. And it doesn't mean that those that don't have money, even those that have money, they will tell you, this is the much that I have, but I don't know where to start. And some of them it's because of the fear. Some of them it's because of the discouragement. Some of them it's because of the inadequacy, because they feel inadequate. They feel they are not enough, and they feel they can't do it. Maybe it belongs to other people. Other people seem more confident. They seem better. So in comparison to other people, they feel like they're dwindling and belittling themselves, and before you know it, they cannot start. So if we say that the first step is the hardest in the forward motion, that means you will keep it in your mind that even when I am starting a new relationship, I know there are people that I'm talking to, and you've said, you know what, I really gave up. I don't think I will go back to that arena. And then your heart betrays you. So when your heart betrays you, you start getting into that corridor of love again. And then you're like, you know what, dating again, inviting someone out, and then, you know, calling them, and then, you know, putting in the time and the effort. I did it maybe some time back and it just didn't work. And so you feel like, no, this is too much. I don't think I can do this. It's not within me. So you resign, because the first step is the hardest. Beginning a business, beginning a ministry. It could be, you know, getting to work, or even looking for employment after you've long time been unemployed and you're getting back into employment and you're taking your CV around. It's so hard, because every time you're like, you know what, it's the hardest thing. I take the CVs around and then no one is calling me to shortlist me or even for an interview. I don't get any feedback from anyone. It's so hard to actually get there. But once you know that the first step is usually the hardest. Now, when it comes to the middle, there is a mess of finding your footing, finding, you know, being rooted and settling in, and the puzzle making sense all of a sudden. But again, there is always joy at the end when you go endure the first step and endure the middle step, which is messy, and then get to a place where you have finally figured out how you can be able to not only survive, but thrive and flourish in whatever thing that you have decided, or whatever endeavor that you have decided to do. Okay, so the first step, look at a pregnant woman when they are getting into, you know, the first trimester. As in, if it were up to any woman, if any woman had a choice, they would have said, you know what, 2 months into this, no. I did not sign up for this burden. Let me just undo this and go back to my smaller waist and having a hassle-free life. Anyone would have resigned, because it feels so comfortable while you are doing nothing. But again, it is hard, because then maybe you don't have the money, maybe you don't have the kind of life that you want. So even for those that want to start families, the first step is usually the hardest, okay? Go through the getting the woman for the man that is supposed to pursue. These days we have women that are pursuing, but for a man that is supposed to pursue, hard. For the woman that is supposed to say yes sometimes to the uncertain kind of life they're going to live, very hard. Sometimes you feel like, you know what, maybe I should stay in suspense for so long. And then you have gotten in there, and then you're thinking, locking in and officializing, that is going to take a lot of money, and then preparing all these things, hard. Okay, and then you get, after whether the marriage or what, you get into starting a family, hard as well. Now you say we want children, you get into conceiving. For so many people, it is the hardest thing. But the beginning, the first foot, the start is usually hard. And it's the harsh reality that helps us grow. That once we tarry in there, once we stick in there, once we hang on, that there is an expected end that has been promised, and that expected end we work towards. That expected end is not something that bumps into you. You do not just wake up and you're in Bahamas in a bikini and seated at the beach and money flowing into your account. You don't just wake up and you're the biggest influencer in town. You don't just wake up and you own companies. You don't just wake up and you have a beautiful family. If that happened, we would all be lining up at a place where things are just being given free of charge. Later on, we'll talk about how everything long term, let me actually just bring it right now. The other reality is everything worth having, okay, is earned. And it's not something that we just get. It is earned. So we say the first step is hard. Now, the earning process is when you know the first step is hard, but I'm going to stick in there and see what happens. And then when you know that the middle is a bit messy, and say, you know what, I will stick with the messy, and I want to see what's on the other side. So it takes patience, it takes resilience, it takes you knowing what you want, because if you don't know what you want, you're just going to give up on everything. But if you know that this is what I want, have you ever gone to a place and then the vendor just tells you or compares between two objects that are really similar in functionality, but again, they tell you this is this much and maybe it's a lower price, and maybe they let me just use maybe dollars. I mean, why the huge difference in price? They do the same thing. But again, when they go ahead to explain that, you know what, this is durable, and you know, this is going to serve a longer time than this one will serve, then that's when you're like, okay, so it's better I actually take this. So everything worth having, and I think it's John Maxwell that talked about that everything worth having is an uphill task. Okay, you climb. It is expensive. It is costly. It takes resilience. It takes bouncing back. It takes you knowing what you want. So if you compare the prices and you really want the good quality, then you're going to say, you know what? It doesn't matter. I don't know. I don't care how much it costs. I want the quality over the quantity, or over the other one that you, the one that it's being compared to. Why? Because you know what you want. You know the value that you want. So if you know the value that you want, that all you want in life is being successful, you want to be significant, and there's a difference between success and significance. You can have success, and success belongs to just you. Yes, you are successful. But again, significance is more than that. So if you want significance, you realize that you're going to get the success, and that success is not going to be only for you, but it is going to serve other people. And that is significance, that you're going to hold another person's hand, that you're going to do charity, that you're going to help someone that you even don't know, you're not related at all. That is being significant, okay? That's just not being successful. So when they place success here and significance, if you know what you really want, you will say, you know what, I want to be significant. That means I want to get more so that I can be able to give, okay? So that I can be able to help, okay? So you realize everything worth having, everything long-term happiness, name it, whichever field that you want, whether in your career, whether it's a seasoned career or it's a career that is just starting, whether it's in which arena, which industry. So many, being an artist, being a film maker, being a film star, whatever industry that you can talk about. Long-term happiness is earned.